And welcome back, YouTube. That is not how I expected that to go whatsoever. Wow, yeah. So turns out that the two people that were talking to me when I got to the break room were basically investigating from Channel 12, the local NBC TV station, and I think he said that before I stopped rolling video. The other guy that asked if he could interview me, he was from Fox 10, our local Fox affiliate. Hey, look, there's the Route 17 coming. I'm so glad I don't have to catch that bus today. Wow. Speaking of catching that bus today. So I didn't expect I was going to get any time off for July 4th. I've been looking at my schedule in Amazon to A to Z, and there was no deviation from the normal. It just showed me, as per always, Sunday night, Monday morning, working until 5:30 a.m. Monday night, going into work at 7 p.m. and working until 5:30 a.m. tomorrow. But apparently an email or something was sent out. I don't think I got it, but it's very possible that I have my that my emails from Amazon are going to my LCM email address and not my regular email address, which I haven't checked that in months. Anyway, when I first got into to work yesterday, I did see a big sign saying that we'll be closed for Independence Day. I'm like, wait, what? This building never closes. But not closing for a full day. So each shift is getting a half a day off, which to me kind of defeats the purpose of getting the day off. I forget when they were closing for day shift, but everyone working day shift today had to. We got more flooded bike path here. Everyone who worked day shift today, had to be in at 7 a.m. as per usual. I think they get to leave at 12:30. I think they're shutting it down today at 12:30. So, oh gosh, and did I say what time it is? It's 11:50 a.m. So yeah, those people are still working. They're not getting their July 4th day off yet. And I don't know, to me, like if I was working day shift, the whole thing of a day off is not having to get up in the morning, But, and of course, I believe they're all getting paid, time and a half for working today on the 4th. So it's like extra inspiration to go in. But oh man, so much for, and I'm sure that's probably what it's about. It's not about giving us. It's probably not about giving us. Time off as much as just to keep the payroll with the regular budget with the promised holiday pay. I mean, I don't know that for sure, but it's just kind of how it feels since everybody still has to come in. Oh my God, they flooded this good. Ooh, nasty wet grass. Dang it. Come on, Phoenix Parks Department, get your shit together. Quit watering the bike route. It's all kinds of flooded right there. Yuck. At least the sprinklers are off now, so that's something. Anyway, so night shift, even weirder. I guess it's good for those, that have families and want to go see fireworks, although it's my understanding that there's not really any fireworks displays going on due to supply chain issues, so there's that. But, anyone who's got families or girlfriends that actually spend time with them or whatever, can go do July 4th festivities. But they can't drink during those festivities because they got to be to work, and I got to be to work at 12:30 in the morning. And so anyway, I wasn't even going to talk about that. I was going to talk about what happened at the break room just now. But seeing the Route 17 bus approaching just reminded me of all the times that I rode that to Amazon, particularly Saturday on Sundays, and then also on any weekday that's a holiday, where Valley Metro is running a holiday schedule, which you can pretty much bet money that today is one of them. So, by the way, it's July 4th still. Independence Day 2022. Yeah, I'm not sure if I remember to say that at the beginning of the video. So, in case you were wondering. Yeah, so surely Valley Metro is running a Sunday bus schedule, and like, wow, like, talk about not being sensitive to like giving your employees something that looks like it's a good thing, but not being sensitive to the needs of your employees. There are a lot of people on the night shift that ride the bus to work. I was one of them for over 3 months, and yeah, on a Sunday bus schedule, the buses stop early. So there's anybody who rides that bus to work is gonna have to roll the dice and hope that the last bus of the night is actually running, because that's always a crapshoot with the Valley Metro. I've certainly been stranded more than a couple times because I was planning on riding the last bus that was running on a given route, and then that last bus just straight up didn't show up. Yeah, it's been a couple months since I've really been riding the bus with any kind of regularity, and so I don't know if Valley Metro has handled their driver shortage issue that was causing numerous buses throughout the day to not actually show up and not be running. But that situation always seems to get worse on holidays, because if there's any day that somebody who really is not likely to get fired because they're desperate for employees is going to decide, fuck it, I'm not going into work today, it's on a holiday like July 4th. So anyway, yeah, I'm so glad I've got my car. I mean, God knows what I don't know offhand, but God, I'm sure I would have to leave pretty damn early just to get there, and would be sitting outside a closed building. Couldn't even go inside the break room. Not to be confused with the bar where they just had a shooting, but I mean the break room at Amazon, to chill and get some beverages. Like, I'd just be stuck outside the building in the heat. Waiting until it opens at 12. Actually, it doesn't even open at 12:30. It opens at 11:55. My bad. Yeah, just being super weird about it. Like, so my shift tonight starts at 11:55 p.m. and and they said that in order to get holiday pay, you must clock in on July 4th. So if your shift starts and so I'll get holiday pay for this a little bit bigger than a half shift, but I must be clocked in on July 4th. I mean, I always clock in a couple minutes early, but I don't know, it's going to be pretty weird tonight to see who and what shows up. So this is an interesting development here in the neighborhood. This house, which is way older than most of the stuff in the neighborhood, for a long time, it's got chain link around it, so it looks like a property investor finally gave the owner of it an offer they couldn't refuse. And then behind it were some very inexpensive and kind of ghetto apartments, and this is the driveway to it. And as you see, those are looking pretty rough. Also got a fence around it. Now, I'm sure the way this property started was that house on a pretty sizable piece of property, and then it probably ended up getting zoned R2, which allowed them to build, because it's obviously all the same property, allowed them to build the apartment dwellings at a later date beside it. Anyway, I'd be willing to bet that whatever property investor just snatched this up and has it wrapped with chain link, rental chain link, is also probably the investor who bought this piece of property I'm walking on here. Now, the corner that the dirt spot that's in view right now, that used to be like now, I don't remember that building ever being open as a store, but you could tell from the architecture it used to be like a neighborhood, like old. Oh, look at that. There is a break in the fence, and I definitely heard some people roaming around inside. Oh yeah, those buildings definitely got squatters in them. Kind of ripping the fence, and I definitely heard somebody moving around in there. Oh, good times. Wow, in this particular architecture, I've certainly seen this around different places in Phoenix. This is exactly identical to the building where my daughter Lily's best friend used to live over by Longview Elementary School. Anyway, what used to be on this property was like a corner store that somebody had bought and kind of turned into their residence. Like I said, I don't ever remember this being functioning as a corner store, but the architecture was that of a corner store. And there was even a sign that said, "This is not for sale. This is my house. Don't bother me." There was a sign like that on the building for a long, long time. In fact, I'm sure I've got some vlogs where I've got this building. For the longest time, it had this goofy little brown smiley face painted on the front of it. And then for a long time, he had "Vote Biden" painted on the front of the building. See how that worked out for you. Although, for somebody who's selling real estate, the things that are happening with the economy is those are the winners in today's economy, as opposed to people that are trying to buy real estate or find a place to live that don't already own a home. I'm guessing they're probably trying to get this whole corner, I would guess, to build luxury condos in, or I don't know. The next properties to the south, those are pretty nice condos and they're fairly recent. That guy getting honked on because he stopped where there wasn't a stop sign. That's brilliant. And this piece of 48th Street has a 25 mile per hour speed limit, but nobody likes to drive 25 miles per hour on it. You drive 25 miles per hour on it, there's the speed limit sign. Drive 25 miles per hour on it, you will get tailgated. Apartments on the other side of that center block wall, not as nice, but they have been restored kind of recently, so I don't know what they rent for. I mean, shit, these days in this neighborhood, probably around $1,200, $1,300, even though they were probably about, $600 4 or 5 years ago. I'm just pulling numbers out of my ass, by the way. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I know what just happened to my rent, and I know what the rents in this neighborhood used to be like, and very fortunate that my rent is still under $1,000 a month, barely. But there's just, most stuff in this area is going from $1,200 a month all the way up to $2,000 a month or more. So, and I would imagine those ones behind that center block wall are on the lower end, just because they're not that nice. But the ones south of that property with the fence around it, I imagine those are going quite a bit. Anyway, sorry, I have no cohesiveness about what I'm talking about today. And welcome to my vlog. That's kind of how it works. Just whatever comes out of my scrambled brain. So, into the last video, I just thought I'd cut it off because I don't think it would look really stupid if he did an interview with me that may or may not get used on Fox 10. I'm sure they're going to edit it, which is fine. That's what they should do. I used to work in broadcasting. That's how it works. I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, "This guy's garbage. We can't use any of this." But I don't think that would have looked right at all. I imagine I look goofy as hell, holding this phone like this, just horizontally, a little bit below my chin. Which is funny. The guy even wanted to talk to me. He's like, "Well, what are you doing?" And I'm just like, "I'm just a YouTube vlogger. It's just my own personal diary. Nobody really watches it." Except for my mom. Hi, Mom. Anyway, yeah, so I figured it was a good time to stop that last video. And interesting, and here's the main reason I don't think he's probably going to use me, is as soon as he started interviewing me, he immediately tried to spin what happened at the break room with the current all guns are bad, gun violence in the nation type narrative. Yeah, there is an uptick in gun violence in the nation. There is. And there were 2 people shot there. I think there were 3 people shot, 2 people killed. So by some definitions, that would be a quote-unquote mass shooting, even though that's not what I think of when I hear the term mass shooting, nor is it what most anybody else thinks of. But I'm sure it will be added to the statistics regarding mass shootings. Anyway, he tried to go in that direction. I forget exactly what he asked me, but, well, blah, 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 something about, this uptick in, gun violence across the nation. And my response to that is, and I just immediately shut him down. I'm like, yeah, I don't think this has anything to do with that, because it doesn't. Said, this is definitely this has everything to do with the shifting demographics of this bar, and even more so the crowd that hangs out in this bar, in this bar's parking lot. So you want to see what the problem is, bring your cameras and come to this parking lot on a weekend night at like midnight, and it'll be very clear to you. And then he's like, looking to see if there were like anybody had made a memorial, and this is after he was done shooting his little interview with me, and he looking to see if anybody had made a memorial, a homemade memorial to the people that were killed there, because that happens sometimes. And nobody had, and I'm like, no, just some trash around here. I said, but I bet we'll see the problem with this bar if we look in this here trash can. I go to the trash can at the corner of the building, and sure as shit, there's a large Four Loko can like right in the top. But yeah, I'm almost always see empty alcohol bottles, from fifths, from pints and fifths. But yeah, not surprising at all to see a Four Loko can. So people drink in the parking lot, and they don't really do much about it there. It's kind of sad, and that's been an ongoing problem there even back when I worked there. But it's certainly got worse since they let me go, since my karaoke crowd just kind of stopped showing up. And come to think of it, I guess it's been about a year and a half, because it was certainly shortly after New Year's 2021 that. Because I know I was off for, like 2020, I was off for Christmas and off for New Year's. New Year's Eve 2021, that was my first night at the 44 in Glendale. And then after that was when I went to, I still came back, and I still did, I'm trying to remember what the hell day of the week it was. I feel like it was Thursdays. Gosh, it's been so long I forget what night I was at Break Room. Pretty sure it was Thursday nights. Anyway, yeah. So, and Priscilla's still not made it back home, but of course she hasn't. Probably having a great holiday weekend with her new boyfriend. But still left her bass guitar here with me. Very interesting. Yeah. So she... so anyway, yeah, after I came back, like I had a pretty good karaoke crowd built up. In fact, there were nights that the Thursdays were just as busy people-wise, and even busier money-wise, on my karaoke Thursdays there. Yeah, it was definitely Thursdays, because I would come in and work on music the next day at Friday, and sometimes I'd be there while it was starting to get busy. I always try to clear out when the DJ would show up at Friday. But yeah, it was just Thursday nights there. But yeah, I feel like they still gave me about 2 or 3 months at the beginning of 2021 to kind of, to see if it would bounce back, and it never did. And I still see a lot of those singers that used to come to that show over at... I still see a lot of them over at Bullock's Cocktails, and when I've asked them about it, they're like, yeah, I don't go there anymore. It's just got too sketchy. And a lot of people consider Bullock's to be too sketchy. So, but yeah, I tried to tell them, it's just it's a delicate thing. And how do you tell the very large black reporter that the problem is a certain element within black culture that is congregating in this bar? But I'm clearly not. I'm not a racist. I swear I'm not. good portion of my most of my best friends are black. I mean, I DJ weekly at a black bar, but there is a certain element that's glorified in that culture, and that's kind of what's been showing up at Break Room, and that's what drove away the largely black crowd I had that came for karaoke. The crowd I have is mostly, people that are in their mid-30s or older, mostly people in their 40s and 50s, and they've got no time for that. They got no time for that. That's not their life. They're not coming back to a bar to shoot the door guy that wouldn't let them in because they feel they were disrespected. But apparently that's what happened on late Saturday night, Sunday morning, probably about what I'm hearing happened about 1:30 in the morning. And on my vlog that I shot as I was leaving the Wander Inn, and was basically mostly talking about drama with my daughter and ex-wife, and how I'd met a guy that's having to commute from once a month for 3 days to see his 2-year-old son, having to commute from Colorado, from Vail, Colorado, because after he got a custody order, his ex-wife was like, "Oh, I'll just move to Phoenix. That'll stop him from seeing my baby. That'll get him out of his life." And fortunately, this guy was, he's a trooper. He's making the journey. But boy, it's, that's no father should have to do that just to stay in their kid's life. Unfortunately, Arizona doesn't move that. And I'm not going to get back on the subject because I more than covered that Saturday night. But anyway, as I was shooting that video, I was also kind of curious where Priscilla might have disappeared to, and I thought it would be worth going through the parking lot over at Castaways and what the heck you call it, Castaways and Gypsies, and seeing if she had left her vehicle there again. Since it's most likely after, I would imagine that's probably where she went after she left Wander Inn, because she left Wander Inn like literally after I showed up. Like, she sang a song and then she jet out the back door before I even had a chance to talk to her. I was talking to my friends, and I heard her sing, and when she was done singing, we were done talking, I walked into the back room where the karaoke is, and then somebody said to me right off, it's like, wow. I said, you weren't kidding about Cyclops. They call her Cyclops. And you weren't kidding about Cyclops. She disappeared as soon as you walked in. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. But yeah, I kind of expect that she probably went to either, I fully expect that she either went to Castaways or Gypsies, or likely both. A lot of people that go there, they kind of bar hop between the two bars because they're adjacent to each other. And I do that myself on the off times when I go there. Yeah, she, because I did have one of my friends on Snapchat, Destiny, she sent me a snap and said, showed video, I could see video footage in the short snap of Castaways, and then the caption read, "It's empty here." Which interesting. When I hosted the karaoke at that time at 11 o'clock on a Friday night, or 11 o'clock on a Saturday night, it would never be empty there. But oh well, the owners decided to go with Sean and not me. So they don't have the karaoke crowd going there that they used to have. It is what it is. Nothing against Sean. I have a good time when I go to Sean's shows. Sean runs a pretty exceptional show, but he runs sound really good, but he does not have the setup that I have or the music library that I have, and he doesn't do a show as I do. Like, he just basically has snippets of songs between the singers that have nothing to do with the songs. The singers are singing, and sometimes he just kind of lets that stuff play because he doesn't have singers. And their catalog, it's not bad. It's a catalog that's owned by the guy that owns 414 Pizza in Tempe and Mesa. Never been to the Mesa location, but I worked for him for a while at the one in Tempe, like right at the end of 2020. Anyway, he does a pretty good job of like having a decent selection, but it's not kept as up to date as mine is. His KJs don't have the ability to find a song on the fly the way I do. Actually, I know I take that back. They do now. When I was a KJ for him, they didn't. But I actually now that I mention it, I got to correct myself. That is not true. In fact, I asked Sean if I could sing H by Tool the last time I went there, because karaoke version had just added it. So of course I was able to sing it. I was able to sing it at Ozbar because they use CareFun, which is karaoke version streaming service, and of course I have it in my library. Now I haven't sang it at my show because I think that would just go over like a loud fart in church if I was to sing that at the break room. It's just the wrong demographic for me singing that song, unfortunately. I'm still tempted to do it though, not gonna lie. But anyway, but yeah, so I do know that they do use karaoke versions. So I thought, well, maybe they have it. He didn't play from karaoke version, but he was able to pull it up off YouTube. And the way he did it, like, you actually, like, when I play something that I pull from YouTube, I download the stream. I've got to downloads the stream into an MP4, and then I open up the MP4 in an editor. If there's any tags at the beginning or end of it, I edit them out, and then I do a file conversion to an AVI file with the audio adjusted to be consistent, to be at the right level and consistent with all my other files. And then I play that. Now, granted, it takes, somebody asks for something, I can only source it off YouTube. It doesn't mean it takes longer till they sing, but when that track is integrated into my show, it's seamless and it just flows with everything else. Whereas, I don't know, to me it just looks really unprofessional when you've got, your regular, output of whatever software the KJ is using, in this case, Virtual DJ, and the way it presents stuff, and then suddenly you see a browser window and you see him reach up and click the full screen, and sometimes you see him skip the ad, or maybe he's done that before he brings that up, but you still sometimes will see like a start tag with like some sounder on it or whatever, which I think this track had. But to his credit, Sean found me a good version. I'm not even sure. I didn't even recognize the karaoke channel that it came from, but the version he played for me for H was pretty awesome. So they do have that now. Spencer, that's the guy who runs those systems. So I gotta give Spencer credit. He's definitely made that available for his KJs, and that wasn't available when I was KJing for him. So that's good. Props to him for getting that done. Anyway, so yeah, my mind's all over the place today. Yeah, as I was headed to there to see if, my gut feeling is that's where Priscilla went when she left Wander Inn, because I messaged Destiny asking her if I should go there. And I would be willing to bet money that Priscilla had already shown up there at the time Destiny got that message, and Destiny never responded to me, and I'm sure Priscilla probably gave her an earful about me and is probably telling me how mean and evil and evil I am, and I'm sure she was probably like, oh, well, Dan, so you don't want Dan to come here? Because he asked if he should come here. I don't know if that's what happened. I kind of expect that's probably how that went down, because it's not like Destiny not to respond to me. Just saying. Anyway. And as I said on my video after the bar was closed and I was driving down McDowell, that I ended up staying at Wander Inn. Had a great time at Wander Inn. I had a lot of friends at Wander Inn. Absolutely love the bartender over there, and the KJ, Kimmy and Tim. I've known them for 16, maybe 17 years now. I'm staying there. Now I might have changed. I might have actually gone over to Castaway. Had Had Destiny said, come on down, that would have been enough for me to hop over there. But so anyway, as I was driving there, in that video, I got footage. Now, granted, my camera's facing forward and break room's on the right, but I did get footage of, all the police activity, and I commented about it, that, yeah, probably a shooting, and yeah, there was a shooting. Anyway, I will try to put a link in this video description, as well as in that video description, because I was actually working on that before I headed out, about to the three of the local network channels from the local newscast did little short videos about the shooting happening, and like I said, channel 10 and channel 12 were both there trying to get more information and do a kind of a follow-up story. But it's obvious how they're wanting to twist the narrative on it. At least how Channel 12 is trying to twist the narrative. They're trying to make it look like it has something to do with increased gun violence. And what I was talking about with the when I got on the video, on my last video, that this is not the first shooting there. There was a shooting there maybe 6 years ago when I was hosting there, and I'm trying to remember if it was when Johnny owned the bar. I want to say it's when Johnny owned the bar, and it was called East Side at the time. But I mean, whatever, same bar. And yeah, he although I'm not, don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. It's so long ago, but I do remember that particular night. I worked at Horse and Hound. No. Actually, the night that there was a shooting at Horse and Hound, I worked at it. No, I'm getting my facts all kinds of confused. Come to think of it, no. The night there was a shooting at Horse and... Oh, man. I hate it when I get my facts screwed up like this. Whatever. I'm sure that guy's going to research it before he puts it on the news. At least I hope. But I know there's been other shootings at the break room. There has definitely been other shootings. In fact, I think the last time there was a shooting at the break room, I come to think of it, I wasn't working there anymore. It was shortly after I had quit working there. Not the last time, but the time I worked there before. I worked there on like 3 separate occasions. And even prior to being full-time, like a regular karaoke host there, I was an occasional fill-in host before then. So yeah, 3 stints with regular shows, and then prior to that, I was a fill-in host. So yeah. I have a long history at the break room, and prior to that, it was just one of my favorite spots to go sing. Anyway, yeah, when the shooting happened there, I wasn't working there. Oh, I totally gave that reporter the wrong information. Damn me. Damn my fractured memory. No, I was working at Castaways at that time, and I was living over here, and driving home from Castaways is when I saw the police activity at break room. I was like, whoa, I bet there was a shooting at break room, and there totally was. So maybe I'll find a news article about that and link it in the description. So check the description, and if it's not there, come back in a couple days and check it again, because I sometimes it takes me a while to get around to doing that. But yeah, yeah, so shooting there. Gosh, so many bars I've worked at that have shootings. That's a bad sign, isn't it? No wonder people don't want to hire me to do karaoke. I swear none of these are my fault. They always happen on nights I'm not there, thankfully. But yeah, the night that there was the shooting at the Horse and Hound, when I hosted at the Horse and Hound, which at the time was the largest sports bar in Tempe, if not the largest sports bar in Arizona. The place was freaking huge. That show was that was a big show. But I did Wednesdays and Saturdays there. And the shooting that happened there, it kind of was connected with there being a Nipsey Hussle show at the Clubhouse, which was a concert venue that was adjacent to and also owned by and part of the Horse and Hound. And yeah, there was a Nipsey Hussle show, and somebody that's affiliated with the gang that apparently Nipsey Hussle is affiliated with drove through the parking lot, which, mind you, is not the Clubhouse nor the Horse and Hounds parking lot. It's a strip mall parking lot, and that strip mall was also shared by a place called Los Friveritos taco shop, and then there was also a plasma donation center in there, and there was also a 7-Eleven. I'm pretty sure the 7-Eleven is still there, and there was a place that rebuilt like video games, like real video games, not play-at-home video games, but like arcade machines. I used to have a very, very good friend that worked there for a long time. He passed away several years ago. I really miss him. But anyway, sorry, my mind's wandering everywhere. But yeah, that night, the night that shooting happened, I was working at Break Room, which, kind of crazy. Anyway, I need to wrap this up. So I don't know if I finished up with what happened with Priscilla or not between this video and the last video, but just to basically sum it up, when I started the last video, I showed you that there were some leggings on my bed, which smell strongly of perfume. I don't know if that's Priscilla's subtle way of hinting that, oh, look, these are not mine, and you're with another woman, I can smell her on your... I don't know whose those are or where they came from. I have no flippin' idea. But they did have a pretty strong smell of perfume on them, and she left those on my bed. She also picked up her mail, because, last Saturday night, she left my mailbox key, as I showed in the video. She left my mailbox key at the Wander Inn, and which is that mailbox key is in a safe place where she won't have access to it anymore. But yeah, when I got home, I checked my mail, and I sorted out everything that was from her and put it on top of her blankets on her nest. And so sometime while I was at Amazon, or possibly at Oz, yesterday or this morning, she came by, grabbed a mail, apparently didn't feed the cats. Maybe she fed the cats, but I didn't see any food in their bowl when I got there, and they seemed hungry. I fed the cats before I did this walk to the break room. And, but yeah, she definitely been here, but certainly didn't do any cleaning, and certainly didn't stay any great length of time. So, and on that note, she did pay. I mentioned I sent her payment requests for the internet and also for the electric. She did pay her share of the electric, so yay, kind of late. I suggested that I was going to bill her separately for a late fee. I'm probably not going to do that. That's being a little extremely petty, but yeah, she paid that, and she paid it late. I made pay the whole payment out of my pocket, on time, so, but yeah, kind of frustrating. And because I emailed her twice prior to that, and then I'd asked her in person twice for it. Also, I sent her a payment request on PayPal for the price of the internet, which was due on, I want to say the 24th of last month. And it's, I want to say it's like $95-ish, and she contributed $40 to that, which is kind of horseshit, because I don't really use it. I do occasionally use the Cox hotspots on this phone, but for the most part, I use my free internet through Assurance Wireless, through the, I forget the name of the actual program. I always call it the Obama phone program. It's colloquially known as the Obama phone program, but anyway, I think it's called the Lifeline program or something like that. And it's not supposed to be unlimited internet, but that's just kind of how, for whatever reason, that's how it's worked out. They never seem to regulate how much internet I use. So I generally use that or Wi-Fi in places I go, although I do occasionally use the Cox hotspot, but I could get along just fine without the Cox hotspot. But yeah, apparently she thought paying $40 towards that, even though she has a work-from-home job and actually uses that, and her employer at this point should be paying for it. Yeah, she contributed $40 out of like $95. So not a huge amount of money, but still frustrating to say the least. Anyway, so yeah, that's what's up with that. Little short messages in her payments that just said what they were for, but no response to the email I sent her asking why she brought my mailbox key to the Wander Inn, and no email explaining, where she is or when she'll be back or anything. So, and I suppose technically she doesn't, as a friend of mine pointed out, it's like, hey, she said at this point you're not really together anymore, so she's just a roommate. It's not like she has a, it's not like she has a curfew or anything. I'm like, yeah, fair. And it's, I kind of come and go and don't really tell her anything either. So I guess that's fair. I feel a lot differently about it because it's my apartment. And I never, ever at any time told her that she could live here. And I've told her many times that I don't want her living here. Even when we were getting along great as a dating couple. So it's just extra frustrating now because, It's Independence Day, and I was hoping to just sleep and then go to work at 7, and I got all day off just to be alone with my thoughts and my cats, and she's off presumably with her new boyfriend. So that's frustrating, to say the least. Anyway, thanks for listening to all this. I'm oversharing. It's going to be a while until I get this uploaded, but thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and try to remember to put all those links in the description.